If you've ever looked at a stunning piece of 2D animation and thought, that looks amazing, but there's no way I have the time or technical skill to create it, think again. Welcome to the world of Cartoon Animator, a powerhouse software designed to completely shatter the barrier between your imagination and a finished project. Instead of drawing every single frame by hand, Cartoon Animator lets you bypass the tedious grunt work. You can instantly breathe life into your characters using a massive library of professionally designed, ready-made motions. Want something totally unique? You can easily generate custom motions tailored to your exact vision. Combined with an intuitive suite of puppeteering and rigging tools, it turns what used to take weeks of meticulous tweaking into an easy, lightning-fast workflow. All right, let's kick things off right at the beginning, the interface. Now, every software has a toolbar, but Cartoon Animator keeps things remarkably clean and intentional right from the jump. From your standard file, new, open, and save options, everything is laid out with absolute simplicity. There's zero clutter to blind you, and no overwhelming walls of numbers. The software is built to let you drop in, open a fresh canvas, or load up a saved project instantly without having to navigate a maze of confusing submenus. It's an interface that respects your time, designed entirely around getting you past the setup phase and straight into the actual fun of creating. Next up is the Realusion Marketplace. If you're on a tight deadline or just don't want to draw from scratch, this store is packed with thousands of pre-rigged characters, motion packs, and backgrounds. You just find what you need, drop it straight into your project, and completely skip the tedious building phase. Right next to your main tools, you'll find two buttons that completely save your sanity before export: the Preview Image button and Render Settings. The Preview button gives you an instant, high-fidelity snapshot of your exact frame. Once everything looks perfect, hitting Render Settings opens up a highly flexible export panel. Whether you need a transparent PNG sequence for compositing or a crisp MP4 video for social media, you can tweak your resolution, frame rate, and formats in just a couple of clicks. But here is where Cartoon Animator truly bridges the gap into high-end production: the export to After Effects pipeline. Instead of just slapping a flat video export into your editing software, this tool packages your entire scene into a smart JSON file. It completely eliminates the frustration of jumping between different programs, giving your 2D animations a gorgeous premium finish without forcing you to re-render or start from scratch. Navigating a massive marketplace doesn't mean much if you're constantly digging through messy folders to find your files. That's where the Smart Content Browser and its built-in smart search system come into play. Instead of wasting hours sorting through local drives, this interface operates like a highly responsive search engine for your assets. You can use simple keywords or custom tags to instantly filter down to exactly what you need. Whether that's a specific art style, a localized prop, or a pre-made motion clip, watch how fast a project comes together using this system. First, in our content browser, we can use the search bar to locate our main character assets. Just drag them right out of the panel, drop them into position. Within seconds, you have a fully populated, production-ready environment built completely out of your asset library without ever leaving the main viewport. Now that our character and background are live on the stage, maneuvering through your 2D world is completely effortless thanks to the zoom, pan, and rotate tools. Think of these as your camera lens on a physical set, allowing you to smoothly glide across massive landscapes, tilt the canvas for better drawing angles, or zoom in tight for precise facial editing. But the real magic happens when you click the 3D View tool, which instantly flips your flat canvas into a dynamic 3D workspace. This lets you view and arrange your layers across the Z-axis, meaning you can easily push backgrounds backward and pull props forward to create stunning cinematic depth of field without ever breaking your 2D art style. A smooth workflow relies heavily on the everyday essentials, and Cartoon Animator packs a fast, intuitive suite of utility tools right at your fingertips. Your standard undo and redo commands are incredibly snappy, giving you a safety net to experiment without fear. Combined with precise select and instant duplicate keys, building out crowds or cloned assets takes seconds. Finally, the flip, link, and visibility toggles give you total control over your layout, allowing you to mirror character directions instantly, bind props directly to a character's hand bone, or hide complex background layers to maximize your software performance while animating. Right alongside your visibility toggles, you'll find the highly versatile Opacity tool. While it's great for just fading out background props, the real fun begins when you start animating this property directly on your timeline. By keyframing a character or prop's opacity over time, you can easily pull off some incredible visual tricks right inside the software. Whether you need a character to smoothly turn into a transparent ghost, a sci-fi gadget to blink out of existence with a sleek holographic glitch, or a dramatic cinematic crossfade between two scenes, animating the opacity property completely cuts out the need to do these tweaks in a separate post-production editor. When your scene gets cluttered with massive backgrounds and multiple actors, the Isolate Selection tool lets you instantly hide everything except the specific asset you are working on. This completely eliminates visual distractions and gives your system a massive performance boost. When you're ready to direct your scene, the software gives you a brilliant toggle between camera mode and preview mode. Switching to camera mode lets you treat the viewport like a real Hollywood camera lens, allowing you to animate sweeping pans, dramatic zooms, and tracking shots right onto your timeline. But if you need to jump out of that camera view to adjust an asset or tweak a bone rig, you simply switch over to preview mode. Now, when it comes to importing custom characters and using real-time motion capture, things get a bit more technical. Cartoon Animator features incredible, seamless pipelines for SVG vector art, PSD layered files, and AI-assisted assets, alongside their flagship Motion Live 2D plugin. Because these tools rely heavily on precise layer naming conventions, specific mesh settings, and your personal choice of tracking hardware, whether you're using a standard webcam, an iPhone, or full-body mocap suits, we can't just summarize them quickly. Instead, talking about these into dedicated, step-by-step tutorials based on your exact workflow and software availability. While dragging assets around with your mouse is great for rough layouts, true professional animation requires absolute precision. That's where the Transform panel comes into play, allowing you to control the exact position, scale, and rotation of your props and characters through direct parameter numbers. By inputting exact coordinates, percentage scales, or rotation degrees, you can achieve incredibly delicate placements that are nearly impossible to hit by hand. This numeric precision is an absolute lifesaver when you need to match up repeating background patterns, scale a group of characters to a perfectly uniform height, or execute micro adjustments on tiny prop elements where even a single pixel out of place would ruin the shot. When you need to look under the hood of your character, you step into Composer mode, the dedicated virtual workshop of Cartoon Animator. This mode instantly strips away your main stage timeline, allowing you to focus entirely on editing a character's underlying structure, bone hierarchy, and vector mesh. Here, you can easily swap out facial features, adjust joint pivot points for smoother bending, or link clothing and hair accessories directly to specific body parts. It is the ultimate tool for character customization, giving you total control to turn any static drawing into a perfectly rigged, production-ready actor. If you want to design completely original actors without building a skeletal structure from scratch, the Create Character from Templates button is your ultimate shortcut. This feature provides structured vector and PSD blueprint layers that you can open directly in programs like Illustrator or Photoshop. By simply dropping your custom artwork into the matching labeled folders, like arms, legs, and facial features, Cartoon Animator reads the structure instantly upon import. It completely skips the tedious manual rigging phase, automatically applying a functional bone hierarchy to your unique designs so they are instantly ready to walk, talk, and animate. What makes this template system feel truly magical is the live preview connection between your design software and Cartoon Animator. When you launch a template into Adobe Illustrator, Photoshop, or your choice of software, a direct pipeline remains open in the background. Every single time you tweak a color, adjust an outfit, or change a facial feature in your image editor and hit save, the changes update inside Cartoon Animator instantly. This seamless, real-time feedback loop lets you instantly check how your artistic tweaks look on the active animation stage, giving you a fluid, uninterrupted design experience without wasting time on tedious exports. When you want to bring raw files into your project, the Create Media tool acts as your primary gateway. Instead of guessing how an image should behave, this menu lets you explicitly tell the software what you are importing by classifying it right at the start. You can choose to bring an asset in as an interactive prop, a flat scene element, a standalone image layer, or a full-screen background. This smart classification system ensures that the moment your asset hits the canvas, Cartoon Animator instantly applies the correct properties, like anchoring backgrounds to the camera frame or allowing props to easily link to character hands. Once your characters and assets are perfectly placed on the stage, it's time to give them a voice using the Create Script tool. This feature completely automates the tedious, frame-by-frame process of lip-syncing by letting you import a pre-recorded audio file or simply type out text lines directly into the software. The built-in acoustic engine instantly analyzes the phonemes, the specific vocal sounds in your track, and automatically matches them up to the corresponding mouth shapes of your character template. Within a matter of seconds, your character is speaking with incredibly natural mouth movements and fluid timing, saving you hours of manual animation work. If you are working with vector characters or props, the SVG color adjustment tool is a massive game changer for editing your visuals on the fly. Instead of forcing you to open up an external illustration app just to tweak a color palette, this panel gives you direct control over your SVG artwork's vector groups right inside the viewport. You can selectively target specific color zones, like changing a character's jacket or skin tone, and instantly adjust properties like hue, saturation, lightness, and contrast. It is perfect for rapidly creating alternate color profiles for background extras, shifting asset tones to match a dramatic night scene, or doing quick branding tweaks instantly on the stage. When you want to give your character genuine personality and emotion, the Face Puppet tool lets you literally drive their expressions using your mouse. Instead of manually moving eyebrows or eyelids frame by frame, you simply choose an emotional profile, like happy, angry, or surprised, and hit record. As you move your mouse across the canvas in real time, your character's facial features fluidly follow your cursor movements, allowing you to intuitively perform organic blinks, squints, and brow raises on the fly. It turns the complex task of facial animation into an incredibly fun, live performance, capturing subtle micro-expressions and timing that would take hours to animate by hand. For total control over frame-by-frame details, the Sprite editor is your ultimate destination. In 2D animation, a single character or prop often contains a library of multiple drawings, like different hand gestures, eye blinks, or shoe angles, stored within a single element. The Sprite editor acts as your visual catalog, allowing you to click on any body part at a specific frame on your timeline and instantly swap out the current artwork for a different one. It is the exact tool you'll use to make a character transition seamlessly from an open palm to a closed fist, swap out a prop's broken state, or fine-tune specific dramatic mouth shapes exactly when your scene demands it. When you need to move past automated library loops and craft completely custom body movements, you'll open the 2D Motion Key Editor. This is the central control hub for your character's skeletal bone rig, allowing you to add or modify transform keys for individual limbs directly on the timeline. It features an intuitive, interactive rig interface where you can easily toggle between inverse kinematics, IK, and forward kinematics, FK. This means you can either pull a character's hand to have the rest of the arm realistically follow along using IK, or rotate individual shoulder joints manually using FK. With built-in bone locks and stretch constraints, the 2D Motion Key Editor gives you the ultimate manual precision required to strike perfect poses, fix overlapping joints, and build complex keyframe animations from scratch. While the Face Puppet tool is great for recording quick, live performances, the Face Key Editor is where you go for absolute, micro-level precision over expressions. This panel gives you deep, manual keyframe control over every individual facial element, from the exact curvature of an eyebrow to the widening of an eyelid. It splits controls into a Quick Expression tab filled with ready-to-use emotional presets, and a highly detailed Modify tab. In the Modify tab, you can select specific muscle zones on a face template and adjust them with precision sliders. This is the exact tool you'll use to fine-tune a character's reaction frame by frame, perfect for adding a subtle smirk, a nervous eye twitch, or micro-adjustments that make your character's acting feel incredibly alive and cinematic. The Layer Editor is your ultimate command center for managing the front-to-back visual depth of your stage elements in real time. With a simple drag-and-drop hierarchy list, you can instantly reorder items to ensure a character walks behind a house or a prop sits perfectly on top of a table without changing their actual coordinates in 3D space. To give your animations that classic, organic cartoon feel, you'll want to master the FFD editor, which stands for Freeform Deformation. This tool wraps a customizable lattice grid of control points around any prop, sprite, or character mesh on your stage. By dragging these grid points, you can smoothly warp, stretch, and twist your artwork without breaking its underlying structure. It is the absolute secret weapon for executing classic animation principles like a dramatic squash and stretch when a ball hits the ground, or adding an elastic bounce to an object's movement to make it feel incredibly dynamic. To really elevate your project, you need secondary motion, the subtle, passive movements like bouncing hair, a swaying cape, or a jingling antenna. Instead of manually keyframing these overlapping actions, you can use the Spring Editor to let physics do all the heavy lifting. By assigning a chain of skeletal bones to a designated spring group, you instantly unlock autonomous bounciness. The editor includes an array of built-in material presets ranging from stiff to rubbery, but you can also manually tweak the sliders for bounciness, speed, and gravity. The moment your character walks, jumps, or faces a gust of wind, the spring bones automatically calculate the perfect natural lag and recoil, giving your animation a professional, high-budget finish completely on autopilot. When you are ready to elevate your flat 2D scene into a cinematic masterpiece, Cartoon Animator features a dedicated export to After Effects pipeline. Instead of bouncing out a flattened video file, this tool packages your scene elements into transparent media sequences, backed by a structural JSON data file. The script acts like an automated editor, instantly rebuilding your identical timeline, character layers, audio tracks, and exact Z-depth spacing right inside your composition. Best of all, it maps your camera movements and layer transform keyframes perfectly. This opens the door for high-end post-production, letting you effortlessly layer on advanced motion blur, volumetric lighting, particle effects, and deep depth of field focus tracking on top of your character performances. Because your PNG layers are automatically stacked, and the camera keys match Cartoon Animator perfectly frame for frame, finishing your sequence becomes absolute breeze. You don't waste a single second trying to manually realign character hands, adjust mismatched camera panning, or sync audio tracks back up in post. Instead, you can jump straight into the fun part of compositing, instantly treating your layers like a physical movie set. You can drop a subtle mist layer between your foreground props and background elements, add realistic color grading to tie the assets together, or let the camera automatically rack focus between characters during a conversation. It transforms your raw animation into a polished, perfectly integrated cinematic scene with minimal effort.